So how do we go about, since it's not through the or actually, how do we do this? Since it's I'm not familiar with this version of the recording. Is somebody going to share, and then we'll just do like we've done in the past? Or
Yeah, so we are live. OTNG Season 3. Nils is in charge. Watch
Woo!
out.
yep,
We're
that's dangerous since I have no idea what I'm doing.
we are playing Kids on Bikes.
Yeah.
And tonight we're recording with OBS. That's the recording software that I've used for some work stuff. Open Broadcast Solution. I think it's like an open source recording application, and I think it'll do audio alone, but I've just been recording video, and I'm just capturing my desktop, Nils.
Okay.
So
Good.
it's we're just recording my session.
Sure. Okay. So welcome everyone who have. As Aaron said, we're going to be using the Kids on Bikes game by Hunter Entertainment. It's a very rules light session, or rules set in more modern era. I'll go through the town that we've kind of designed, and then Peter and Aaron can each go through their characters and their features of the characters. In the designing of the town is a collaborative. Mostly Peter and Aaron provide information and kind of come up with the town's character. We're setting it in 1979. It's in a town called Seabright in the Pacific Northwest somewhere, probably maybe the Oregon coast. It has its main industry is fishing, and with some logging in the backup as a backup. But because it's 1979, the economy has really collapsed, and so it's almost everyone's fallen on hard times. The town's very famous for its beautiful coastal views over the cliffs, but on the other hand, it's also infamous for people going missing a lot. There's more frequently people missing from this town or this area than other areas in the Pacific Northwest. One notable organization is VFW, and a notable landmark is Seal Rock, which is more like a bluff or a lookout over the sea, looking out to a rock where there are seals that congregate there during their migration period. And of course, the sports team, school sports team that both Aaron and Peter's characters go to is the SEALs. It's a K-8 school. One other interesting thing.
Nils, are you there? We lost you. Did I lose you guys?
Is that old is a down in the luck fishing captain that he's raising great white sharks for some reason. Another rumor is that Peter's character, cousin's brother's mom's neighbor, knows for a fact that Sir Francis Drake hid some of his treasure, but the caves are deep enough that no one's really seen the caves. They don't know how to get into the caves yet. Another rumor is that Sheila Olson, who is in Aaron's character's grade, is the captain of the swim team, and before sunrise, she swims out to the Seal Rock, actually out in the sea, and goes swimming with the seals. And then the last rumor is that the mayor, Mayor Olson, the father of Sheila, his son, Artie Olson, is a good source for fake IDs. So, Aaron and Peter, if you want to introduce your characters.
Sure.
After you. Go ahead.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm playing Sloane Agon. He's a 13-year-old who lives here in Seabright. Got black shaggy hair, super pale. And as a teenager, he's just starting to cut his teeth on rebellion. You know, you can't tell me, I know it all. This is all bullshit. And Sloane is very skilled at art and has an unassuming persona and appearance. but he's super insecure and very secretive. His biggest fear is that dad's not coming home. And his motivation in life is to take care of the house for mom so she doesn't have to. She works hard to be able to take care of Sloane. So he does what he can. He does everything for his mom around the house. Sloane is super, I guess you would say, hardy, tough, but he's not. But he's very slender, light. He's not too tough. But there's a smattering of, that 16-year-old muscle that's starting to come on just here at 13. He carries with him almost everywhere he goes a leather satchel that's stuffed with art supplies, with all sorts of mediums, pens, pencils, some watercolors, a few tubes of oil paint, a couple of brushes. And he's really close with Dani Fuller, one of the neighborhood kids, Peter's character. And we've got this plan that when Dad comes back to town, he's gonna roll out the sloop and we'll work as deckhands on his boat, make a little money, have some fun, learn the sea, learn the trades. But Dani's a little hellion, and he's hurt a lot of kids in the neighborhood. Some worse than others, like that time when he cracked open Willie's skull on the curb outside the schoolyard.
I'd still say he had it coming.
Well, nobody said he didn't, but you
I
can't
shouldn't
go
have done
around
it.
hurting people.
I shouldn't have done it.
And if that keeps up, then you're off the boat, Dani. You're off the boat for good. But Dani, our friendship really was cemented that day that he found, and I'm not really sure how he found these letters that my mom had secreted away, that had been hiding from me.
I was digging
Letters,
around under the bed.
yeah, letters from my dad, letters that she never showed me. But I'm really starting to show nervous signs of OCD. And my desire to have everything cleanly, tidy, and everything in its place is starting to become a little maybe neurotic. And my safe place here in town is the community center, which is kind of sort of library, town hall, open art space, and it's run by this beautiful 20-something Naomi. That's my safe space. So that's Sloane Agon, a 13-year-old unassuming artist here in the town of Seabright. That's all I got.
Sorry, I'm typing. There we go.
Type.
That's it. Well, I'm Dani Fuller. I'm 9 years old, and I'm a tough, scruffy-looking kid. I'm always covered in bruises. Probably need a good bath. I pretty much wear the same clothes every day. AC/DC T-shirt,
Oh, that's so badass. Oh, we should say that it's 1979, by the way.
That's right. It is. It's 1979. I think Nils may have mentioned it, but in case he didn't.
The AC/DC T-shirt gave it away.
That's it. And I did change one thing from earlier, just to be clear with my GM and fellow player. I'm not envious in my flaws. I'm insecure. Because that really helps explain, in part, why you're 13, you're the older kid next door, and you are kind of weird, and you're always cleaning stuff, which I don't get that at all, but I totally get devotion to your mom, because I'm devoted to my mom, who my drunken dad beats up, and he beats up me and my brothers and sisters. But
how many siblings do you have?
I got 2 of each, 2 brothers, 2 sisters.
Are you smack in the middle, or are you at the top or the bottom?
I'm the oldest.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm a secret nerd though. I don't let anything know, and I don't let anybody know how smart I am, or that I like math, or that I like reading. I do have a copy of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds and a copy of Tolkien's Hobbit, both without covers and stuffed in the bottom of my backpack, with under the socks, so nobody knows they're there. But I always have them with me. Like I said, I'm very protective of my siblings.
You have a false bottom in your backpack.
That's right. Yeah, it's underneath my extra sock. And you know, but I found an old shack in the woods, and that's kind of that's my safe place, because I can't go anywhere public after Dad's beat me up. And I like it out there because it's quiet. You just hear the animals and the wind, and even when it rains, and it rains a lot here, that's why I got a poncho in my backpack too. I
And an
like it
extra
out
pair
there.
of socks.
Extra pair of socks and a can of Sterno, because I'm not stupid. Yeah, but yeah, what was the other I had here? Oh, and I am determined to get my temper under control and to not hurt anybody, because I really look up to I'm sorry, what was your character's name?
Sloane.
Sloane. I really look up to Sloane, because he's the older kid, and he's the one who introduced me to Dungeons and Dragons, and I can't let anybody else know about that, but he's cool enough to let me play with him, and so I'm devoted to him, and I take it seriously when he says, don't hurt people needlessly, and if you hurt people like that, I can't be your friend, and that's a big deal to Dani. He's you're the big brother he doesn't have.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you seem to have the family he doesn't have, because your dad, he may not be around, but you said he's coming back, so I know he's coming. And your house is always clean, and you always have food. That's a big deal. You're like, so you're 13. That's 4 years older. That's a big deal at 9.
Yeah, that's almost half your life.
That's it. You're practically a grown-up in
That's
my
like
eyes.
that's like all of your conscious life.
It is.
Yeah, those 4 years, right? Yeah. Did we do the Q&A stuff, the relationship stuff?
I think you covered most of it. Let me check.
I didn't
Okay.
take notes on Peter's. I only had notes on mine.
Yeah, my notes
sorry,
are
I didn't have
spotty on
notes
mine.
I didn't have notes on Dani's.
You mentioned the deckhand jobs, finding letters, betraying days of violence, and OCD. Yeah, so you got all that.
So one of those times I was hanging out at his house, that's when I was around it, because everything's nice and neat and clean, and it was in Mom's office. I was in there looking through her desk. That's it. Looking for money, probably, because I'm that kind of kid. I'm not dishonest. I'm just an opportunist.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
Cool. Super cool. So that was character generation. Super quick, super easy. Assign the polyhedrals to 6 stats. Choose 2 flaws. Choose 2 strengths. Teenagers get rebellious automatically, and then 2 more. And what do the kids get, Peter, Dani?
They get quick healing and tough.
They get quick healing, and you picked tough.
That was it. Quick healing, and I picked 2, and I picked tough and protective.
Right.
Tough and protective, right?
Yeah, that was in a pre-gen, and I liked it, so I went, I'm going to that.
Right.
So where do I make notes of those things? Because
there's a notes field at the bottom of the character sheet, or just good. On your on some scrap paper, probably.
I'm sorry. Notes on what thing?
Well, what tough does, and
oh yeah. You can in the there.
In the handout, right?
Right. Yeah. So, you've survived the summer, the long, boring summer. Some days are really boring because there's nothing to do. Other days find an adventure in the surf or out in the forest, or hang out at the community center, sneak into a room and play some D&D. And you've gotten back into school. And so it's, a few weeks of school go by, and it's the fall carnival. The middle school, the K through 8 school has a carnival every year. It's, you're thinking that originally it was, pretty cool when you're a kid, but now it's maybe not quite so cool because you're getting older. The rides are a little bit kind of kiddie rides, but some of them still have a few. But it's something to do for the Friday night that it's being held on. So you go to the carnival. What kind of things are at the carnival that you're interested in doing?
I'm sorry, what was the question? I missed it.
What about the carnival are you interested in doing? Is your character?
Right.
Oh, what's going on around the carnival?
Yeah, what are you interested in doing at the carnival? What things are there that you've found and enjoyed in the past?
Eating. It's all about the
eating.
food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the carnival food, like the hot dogs and the popcorn and the cotton candy.
Corn dog. I can eat 2 churros. I put one in each hand and just go back and forth. And then I'm wound up on sugar. 9-year-old.
That's awesome.
God, it's like the kids.
Sloane, what have you enjoyed at the carnival?
The fun house, with the
Fun
weird
houses?
mirrors and the odd perspectives and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, you make sure that Dani makes sure that he comes over and gets you guys
also
there.
because the fun house is like a super, like it's an e-ticket, right? You give your ticket and you can hang out there as long as you want.
Right.
Yeah.
So Dani sees that this year they're going to be a churro eating contest, and so he makes sure that guys are gonna get there early enough to get in line early so he can do it.
Oh man, I'm gonna be the first kid to win it.
And there's two divisions, 16 and under and 16 and over. So there's a $1 entrance fee, but if you win, you get $10.
I totally saved up for this.
Right. So you had enough. You knew you ahead of time that you could save up and get change out of Dani's mom's.
How much? No, out of the fucking sofa.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So you're just kind of hanging around.
Wait, that's better. That's better. I was digging through the sofa and stuff and didn't find a cachet of letters. I found a letter. I found the goodbye letter. And it had been stuffed down there in her grief or whatever and forgotten about.
Oh.
And I found that, and part of it specifically said, "Tell Dani I love him and I'll see him soon."
Right.
That was it.
Which I concluded, is that the right word? I'm trying to think what the right word is. That meant Dad was coming back, right?
Right.
Extrapolated might be.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Right. Exactly.
Just a second, notes.
Yeah, sorry. That just sounds better than digging around at the desk.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So Dani, are you participating in the contest?
I think Dani is, yeah.
I am absolutely. I saved my $1 up.
So, Sloane, are you going to participate?
Hell no.
Okay.
I can't stand sweets.
Oh, okay. All right. So the time arrives, and you line up for the 16 and under division. There's about 10 other kids. You know that you're going to have some pretty tough competition. 15, 16, mid-high school age, and they've got hollow legs, and a couple of them are like, there's at least one football player size guy that's going to just, be able to eat you silly. So you're hoping that you're able to perform well. So,
but my
what we're
true
gonna do-
strategy
Mhm.
is to definitely eat more than $1 worth of churros.
That would be 2
That's an
churros.
excellent idea.
So if you eat 3, you're ahead.
Yeah.
I
The
have
churros are
determined,
25 cents each. So if you eat 5,
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
I know I can eat that. I can't beat
right.
fatty whatever, but I
So
can totally eat more than $1 worth.
right. So and it's also a speed eating. It's not going to be like like you eat as many as you can in an hour, because obviously they don't want you to go that eat them out of business. So it's how many you can eat in 1 minute. So what I'm going to have you do is roll your grit, and then I'm going to make a couple of rolls for the leaders, like 3 of the leaders in the other top eaters, and then the one that gets the highest score will win. If you have any skills that you think might be of use,
We
let
don't
me know.
have skills.
Well, I mean, like tough. I'm not sure what is
Tough. If you lose a combat roll, add +3 to the negative number. You will still lose the roll no matter what, but could
Got it. Okay.
reduce your loss to -1. Protective, you get a +3 bonus, but I have quick healing.
Yes, you do. So that'll help you not get sick quite as badly afterwards.
That's what I thought. Or bounce back and have a corn dog even after I throw up.
Right.
Hey, can I get some cotton candy?
All right, what's next? Oh my God. I'm surrounded by these all day.
So, Dani, go ahead and roll your grit. And you can just click on the like in our other
Can I have a boon do I have a boon or a bane?
well, I don't know. Let's see. Let's start with this. Roll your brains first, and let's say, let me look at so this is how this is how difficulty checks usually work. Is the contest, because you're opposing someone else, you'll be opposed numbers. But here, let's say let's say a difficulty of 4. So roll your brains, and you need to equal or beat a 4 to start off with. Okay. So you had
no, I rolled
you rolled a 1.
That's bad, right?
So, well, right, that's bad. If you don't succeed,
these dice suck.
All I was checking to see was if you had put enough thought into it to prepare, like maybe not eat or something like that. But you didn't. That's fine. But one key thing about this game is that every time you fail, you get an adversity token. So if you notice on your
there it is, boom.
Right.
Oh, is it the little tick box here?
Yeah, just underneath your description.
Okay.
So now you can use those to help yourself or your friends in giving a +1 to your roll. But you can decide to use them after you've made your roll. So,
meaning the adversity token, I can burn it back. The one I just checked. Okay.
Yes.
So a failure gives you a +1 to a later roll.
Yes. So it's basically failing. There's always something effectively. It's going to help you later on with other rolls.
All right.
So
straight D8 for my grit.
Yep. Go ahead and roll that.
By the way, I changed my brains in my flight because Tex was not bright, but he ran like hell, and I figure I don't run, but I'm a fairly smart kid.
Okay.
I rolled a 4. That's a shitty D8.
Well, you don't have to use the adversity token if you might want to wait. At this point, there's probably
save it till it's important.
Okay, you're saying to him it's important?
What was his target number was he trying to get?
I said that because it's kind of like you're opposing other. It's going to be more like a fight, a combat, and so you're trying to beat rolls that other people are going to get. So, for example, the big hulking football guy, he got a 10.
Oh, because he rolls a d20, right, for his
because
grit.
his grit is pretty big.
A lot of grit.
And then the Scrappy Loner, he got a 7, and the one other kid got. Oops, hold on. So you got a 5. So there was you're kind of finished in the middle.
Small mouth. I got a small mouth.
Small mouth. So you didn't beat their score. That's going to be kind of more like what combat is.
Gotcha.
You each roll. For example, if you're fighting, you would roll a fight, and then the other person would roll a flight, and then you compare their numbers, as opposed to me giving a specific target. So, and in this case, you failed another check, so you get an adversity token. So you kind of get your adversity token back from the one you just used.
Oh, I thought he didn't use it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you? I thought you said you had.
No.
Either way.
No. So I have 2 of them. I'm saving them.
Yep, save them. That's great. So you're now stuffed full of. So you actually what happened was the D8. You rolled a 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So you actually only got 3 down, and what happened was that one of the kids. You actually got a really good start early on, and everybody was really worried you're going to win. But one of the kids kind of like elbowed you in the gut as you were starting off, and then that kind of got you choking. You couldn't get any more. So you were hobbled.
I got sugar in my nose.
Yep.
And I want to punch him so bad.
Right.
But I'm not.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
So
maybe when nobody's looking.
Right, but I'm also not giving back his wallet, which he dropped.
Are you actually going to try to pickpocket him?
No, not at all.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I'm not going to say I'm not going to fall. But if you're actually planning on doing something, I mean, you're going to need to roll for it.
Oh, I'm not a thief, but if he drops his wallet, I'm not saying, hey, you dropped that. I'm just taking it.
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of recompose yourself. You get some. Sloane pounds you on the back a little bit and helps you get your breath back.
Gets a big soda in me.
Right, and as the contestants break up, you see that the kid that elbowed you actually walked over to the big football guy, and actually the football guy gave him a couple of and gave him a high five, and then they split ways. So
I hate Marty. That guy's a dick.
McFly, yeah.
No, it's McRye.
It's Marty Stroop.
So then you wander about a bit more. You see some of your classmates and talk to them, and the lines died down for the fun house.
Okay.
So you get a chance to go in, and saved up your Sloane saved up his money and got you guys both tickets to be able to go in and check out the fun house. So Sloane, while you're in there, this fun house looks a little bit weirder than what you're used to.
It's not the one from last year. It's something different.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got a different front. It's not that either one of you would be scared by this, but it is a little bit more intense looking. And the carny that's out front kind of like leers at you in a mean way. And actually you can hear him under his breath saying, "Hope you come back."
Well, yeah, it's it's got like Dayglow paint and stuff on the front, like almost neon with black lights and stuff, and that's
right. So what's the main?
It'd make a wicked poster. It'd be bitchin'.
Right.
Totally bitchin'.
But black velvet poster.
Yeah, because it's like What's that pinball machine with the devil and the I'll think of it. I'll think of it soon.
It'll come to you.
Yeah.
It will.
Okay. So what's the theme of this? Sloane, what's the theme of this fun house? Is it like just scary skeletons? Is it psychedelic? Is it what's the?
No, it's like all sword and sorcery, and
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. Here
Which
it is.
we've never seen them here before. You know,
wait,
it's always some clowns or some, goofball thing like that. But sword and sorcery, we are in for that. We're totally down for that.
It's the Gorgar Williams pinball machine, which was in fact from 1979.
Nice. Very nice.
I remember this thing from when I was a kid, and it was awesome. Gorgar, the pinball machine, and it's all themed up like that. Big devil, like looming in the background, like why a warrior rescues the princess off the bikini-clad princess off the altar, dripping with blood and snakes and.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you find it?
That is, I'm looking at that's some serious stuff.
Okay. Now I've got to see it.
Yeah. Go check it out. Someone's anyway.
Gorgar.
Gorgar, Gorgar.
Yeah. Type in Gorgar and immediately get pinball machines.
Go to images.
So awesome.
Oh, I remember that one.
I don't remember ever seeing that.
Yes.
That is amazing.
That was the greatest one
there
are
a couple in that vein. But yeah, it's dope.
Okay. So you go into the funhouse, and in addition to the new theme and the fact that you're more into the theme because it's Dungeons and Dragons games playing, it also does seem to have a bit more intense imagery, and the mirrors are even weirder than before. You kind of in some ways you can't figure out how they're doing the effects that they're portraying. You actually at one point the two of you get separated, and while you're separated, Dani, you notice the kid that elbowed you at the further end of the one of the rooms you're in. So Sloane's not around. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna move on, or what?
I'm gonna keep an eye on that guy because I don't trust him. But no, you know what? Character is what you do when Sloane's not watching.
What would Sloane do? Very good.
That's right. No, because he'll find out, and I don't want that, man. That would that would break my heart. I really am trying to do the right thing, but if that kid messes with me, that's self-defense, and even Sloane understands that.
Right.
But I'm not starting it. I'm not starting it.
Right. So actually, the kid is looking for the football guy. You realize that they might be related. There might be brothers. The kids actually a few years ahead of you, Dani. And so the football guy comes around the corner, and they turn and see you, and they start pointing and laughing at you, and saying, "Ah, loser! You thought you could win." The younger kid says, "My brother can eat anybody out of a contest." And just about then, Sloane catches up with you, and so now you've got the two of you kind of facing off the two of them. And so at this point, what would you like to do? Would you like to exchange taunts? Would you like to just move on?
I'd like to flip them off and walk away.
Okay.
Right. So I think I think Dani sees me before before the other kids see me, you know, and he sort of and I catch his eye a little bit as this whole thing's starting to kick off, and it's then when they see that now it's 2-on-2, and now that the jeering's starting. Dani, you just flipped him off and turned around.
So then the football guy just like loses it and just roars and comes charging after you.
Oh shit! Let's run. Let's run in deeper into the funhouse. Let's lose this
Are
guy.
you gonna run?
Yeah,
we're gonna run.
Okay, so I want both of you to flight roll. Difficulty of 6.
Nope.
Okay, and you both fail. Okay. If you want, Dani, you can use one of your adversity tokens to add to that 5 to make it a 6.
I can only add 1 to mine, and I can only add 1. So I couldn't make his a success.
Correct.
No,
even if you added both of yours to his, it still wouldn't be a success. Well, actually, wait a minute. Let's check your skills, because I think that there might be some.
What was that about protection?
Well, what are your skills?
You get a +3 bonus
with defending one of your friends. I don't know what that counts as.
And then rebellious. Okay, skill. Okay. All right. So it doesn't look like there's anything that's.
Now I'll take the adversity, and we can fail together.
Right. So both of you gain an adversity token.
Okay.
Check that off in your sheet.
Yep.
And then so you start running. They actually you actually get out of the building, but are turned around enough because you come out the backside. You turn around enough that you kind of like stop for a few seconds trying to orient yourself, and they catch up with you.
Okay.
Fuckers.
So
Scott Fergus. Yellow
exactly.
ice.
Damn Scott Fergus. So one thing that I should point out, combat can be very lethal. If you notice, there's no hit points in the system. When you have a combat, you'll compare the difference between the two numbers and your number, and it's kind of a graduated scale. So if you equal it, you've just barely made it. If you get 10 better, you've really made it. Or if you're in a combat and you are 10 worse, that can be very significantly bad. Just keep in mind that bones can be broken, and if it's bad enough, you could die in one shot. Like Willie went down on the cement and cracked his skull. That when Dani wasn't meaning to be quite that severe.
Sure.
So
he talks fine now.
Right. So the football guy grabs Dani and has got a hold of him and is like yelling in his face. He hasn't thrown any punches yet, but and the other kid, his younger brother, is kind of holding back and just like shouting taunts. So you both have one more action to do something before they're going to take another. Decide what they're going to do. So he's got one whole Dani. He's got one hand on one of your arms and like shaking his fist in your face and yelling at you. And Sloane, you're free at this point. You don't have any. No one's grabbed a hold of you yet. So what would you each of you like to do?
I'm like kind of like come on, Blaine. You leave him alone. He's just a kid, and I'm like trying to sort of pull him out of the grasp that he has, and sort of trying to turn my back and get him in front of me, and then turning my back to the high schooler.
Okay.
Just leave him alone, Blaine. He's just a kid. We're leaving anyway.
Blaine and Marty.
There you go.
Blaine and Marty.
Ferguson, right?
Yeah.
Those fuckers.
Dani, what are you going to do?
That's a tough one. Because you know what? I just want him to let go of me. And I'm getting angry. But I'm going to control myself. The question is, I'm a 9-year-old, so am I going to bite him?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, biting.
Or am I going to stomp on the top of his foot?
I think the biting has a better chance of success.
I think it does, and it's more like a 9-year-old.
Right.
Right, because he's got his there, so his bite. His feet are going to be shuffling around. That's going to be a harder target.
Right. And if I bite him, he'll let go of me.
So
That's controlled. That's controlled. I'm not losing my control and going.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm putting on my character sheet for the relationship question that we asked earlier about making me betray Dani as hurting someone bad.
Right.
Because I mean, kids, they're scrappy, right? And I know that.
Right.
Dani's scrappy too, but bad like Willie.
So bad, you mean in severity as opposed to bad being that's a bad person?
Bad like severity, right? Hurting someone bad like Willie, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe even somewhat unjustified in that case, from what sounded like it was.
Right. But beyond, it was unreasonable response.
Right. Okay. So,
whereas biting this kid to get him to let me go is not an unreasonable response.
Right. Yeah.
Headbutting him in the nose to break it was my first thought. That's an unreasonable response.
Right.
Yeah, climbing up his chest and biting his ear off.
That's
right, like a fucking vicious leprechaun.
So, as you do this, so what's going to happen is, Dani, you're going to roll your fight. Blaine is going to roll his flight, because that's going to be actually no, he's going to roll his grit, because he's going to you're like biting him and he's not trying to run away. And Sloane, you're going to roll your brawn as a way to try to force yourself in between the two.
Okay.
Or pull me free.
Right. That kind of trying to get. Yeah, got it.
Okay, you're kind of like using pulling on Dani as a way to pull yourself between him. So,
right. Creating that space between them.
Yeah. And so let me quickly find a. I'm looking for a good. Actually, let me go here. There we go.
Peter, I turned on my 3D dice. Did you do that too?
Oh, that's why I'm rolling so badly.
I know. You might want to change your color too.
Oh my God. I did that. I'm so sorry. I'm blowing it all over the place.
I know. It's like every time we have a new Roll20 game, you have to set all that stuff back up.
Okay, so my D8 was the flight. No, it was the D6 plus 1.
Okay, here we go.
Still shitty, but now it's green.
Yep. It's green shitty.
It's a shitty green.
Okay, so
here's my roll. Here's my roll.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Shit balls.
Oh, okay. So, and then Blaine's flight. No, I'm sorry. I said grit, didn't I? Grit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He gets an 8, so he's able to. He beats both of your scores.
That's why you're. That's why you're.
No way! I rolled an 18.
That was your fight. You rolled
right.
Oh, you were trying.
D6, the D6 was just fucking with the changing of colors. I'm sorry. My roll for this is an 18. Oh, yes. Fuck no. You got nothing, man.
Are you?
Bring it. My dad hits harder than you do.
You're using fight to bite him.
Yeah.
Okay. That's super cool. I was like, that's why you practically kill other kids, right? When you fight them, because you fight like an adult.
Right. I I hit hard.
Yeah.
I got a brawn at 12. I'm a big kid. I'm a big 9-year-old.
Okay, so you've beaten his score by 10. And so the effect is that the attacker, they explain what the defender does in response to the attack and how effective it is. And okay, and basically this is so severe that it's going to have, he needs immediate medical attention because of the severity of your role, the severity of how well you beat him.
That was a big bite.
So, yeah. So, Dani, what happened?
I broke the skin right there on this forearm.
Mm-hmm.
Big bite on the muscle there. So, I was just, you don't know how sharp your teeth are until it happens, and they just sank in deep, and there's blood. And he throws me. It's such a gut reaction. I fly back, hit a wall or whatever, but this guy's freaked, and there's blood everywhere.
And can I suggest that as he threw, still holding on to him, so you
okay, you broke out, so
we missed that
I'm
part.
Sorry.
Oh, when he threw, no, you're gonna say I tore part of it off when he threw me.
Yes.
Oh, it's still in your mouth. Oh, yuck!
and it's and so right, okay, so yeah, the younger brother is just like starts screaming. You guys are, yeah. The guy, the football guy is just like livid. Okay, so first of all, Sloane,
spit it out. I spit it out. I go, don't touch me.
Sloane gave yourself an adversity token because you failed.
I did, yeah.
Okay, great. And so then obviously the football guy will, like, Blaine clamps his hand and just starts crying in pain, like roaring and crying, and the brother is just like running around screaming, and people are starting to come, and you can hear running feet, because this is obviously something not just like fighting. This is like major injury, screaming pain kind of thing. So the parent, coming fast.
I say we book it.
So
I don't think we want to be around. That's all I'm saying.
Right. The school, there's an open field where the carnival is set up, and it backs onto the forest. So that's like, and then the fun house backed out onto the forest. So that's kind of where you're right at the end.
And I spend a lot of time in the forest, so
yeah,
let's go.
I'm going to stick around because I'm going to make sure that our side of the story gets told, right? I mean, he was picking on you and he grabbed you, and I was trying to help, and then you bit him because you were getting scared, and then it's when you bit him that he caused the injury himself, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It was his fault because he picked you up and threw you across the yard here out behind the fun house, and you can see where that fence is knocked over, like one of those people fences.
Mm-hmm.
It's dented where you got thrown into.
Big impression of my head and shoulders
right
there,
right
4 feet above the ground. Yeah.
Right.
And blood there too.
Right.
And so what are you going to do, Dani? Are you sticking around or are you running?
I think
I
you're
look at him.
You're going to split, right?
Yeah, I think I'm scared, and you know where I'm going. You
know
where to find.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just I don't want everybody to think that you just jumped on this guy's back and tried to bite his ear off or something.
That's right.
Right.
But I think my reaction is that I'm scared. So.
Right. I totally.
But you know where my hideout is. You'll come get me.
Oh, right, because you like booked it off into the woods. Okay, cool. I got you.
Okay. So at this point, the kids aren't going to try to stop you from running. So you're able to run off into the woods, and you're able to make it to your shack. As the parents and the adults start showing up, the principal of the school shows up, and immediately sends someone to get an ambulance and calls the school nurse over, and immediately starts talking to you, Sloane, and Marty, the younger brother, to get a accounting of what happened. And so immediately Marty, it was that crazy Dani. You know what he did with? He
well,
you
shut up.
You shut up.
And you shut up. It wasn't even like that. Your brother was picking on him, and he was going to hurt him bad. He had Dani, and he was going to break his arm. I watched the whole thing happen, and I tried to stop it, Mister.
What's your principal's name?
Samson.
Okay. Ooh, good principal name. I like that.
I try to stop him. I don't know why it's big high schoolers have to always pick on the littler ones. It's not cool.
Well,
and he bit him. Yeah, sure he bit him, but then this big lunkhead picked him up and threw him.
You lunkhead, love it.
And so, in the principal,
it's not his fault. His teeth were still on him when he got thrown all the way. What's a little kid supposed to do against a big footballer?
And so Mr. Sampson says, looks over at the fence and says, what happened to the fence? How's that get knocked?
Yeah, that's where Dani got thrown into by this from right way over here. And I walk, and then I walk, and he picked him up and he threw him, and I walk right in the fence right here.
And so Marty's kind of
that's his piece of arm right there.
It's his stupid fault. Oh yeah, we need the stitches.
Yeah. So the footballer Blaine is basically being bundled up and is in enough shock that he's not able to participate in the conversation. I'm sure he'll be talked to later to get his side, and he's being taken off to the nurse's office until the ambulance gets here. But Marty kind of like then butts in and says, well, yeah, but he shouldn't have bit him because he bit so hard that he went through his arm. My brother was just trying to defend himself. He was trying to defend himself against a
9-year-old. Are you kidding me? He's going to break his arm. You look at your brother and tell me what business he had picking on little Dani. None. Mr. Sampson, I don't even know why he's not even getting in trouble.
Well, Mr. Sampson says, well, we'll have to talk to each of you after things calm down. But for right now, we're going to attend to Blaine since he's
I already told you everything that happened. I don't care what Marty says. He's a big fat liar.
Well, everyone has their day in court, and we'll see what comes of it. If Dani was only doing this in defense, why did he run? Why didn't he stay here and defend himself?
He got thrown into the fence, and he got up and he ran. He thought he was going to get hurt worse, and he ran.
Okay, well, right now we're going to take care of Blaine because he's the one that needs medical attention.
Stupid chalk.
We'll be talking to each of you in turn tomorrow. So as I said, they've already kind of bundled Blaine off. The principal takes Marty off to the nurse's agent, and they kind of, the adult kind of leave, look at the blood on the ground on Blaine, and leave. Kind of leave you, Sloane, just on your own as the crowd kind of clears.
Right.
And so at this point, what are you going to do?
I'm going to use my 2 adversity tokens to use my unassuming skill and slip away into the woods and go to Dani's hideout where I know that he ran off to. So nobody sees me leaving.
Right. Okay. Good use of your tokens or your skills. So Dani, you get to your hideout, and
But I'm
notice,
sick. I'm feeling so sick. I'm really upset about what happened.
and you've got blood in your mouth.
Oh no, I threw
That's
up
it.
partway here, so I got blood and vomit in my mouth.
Oh, great.
But I do have a canteen with some water, so I do. Yeah.
Okay, good. So you get to your house or your shack. I'm assuming this is
What?
that it's an abandoned shack that no one has come back to.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's probably, the way I see it is, it was part of a cabin, and part of the cabin's collapsed, and this is like the second room in the cabin, and it's not collapsed.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you get there, and you actually see that things don't look. So you've actually got some stores out here of stuff to maybe maybe some like Lunchables or those kind of easy to pack food things to have out here, and a few of them are torn open. Some of them are kind of thrown around. You even had kind of like a makeshift bed, maybe with a blanket and some pine branches and things like that. That's kind of been thrown around as you come in.
You mean somebody's been in there?
Someone's been staying here.
Yeah. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
I just say, who's been sleeping in my bed?
Exactly. So, what do you?
Being a kid,
you basically walk into your hut, and you see this. So, in a quick glance, you see that things have been kind of like tossed a bit. What do you want to do?
Well, being a kid, I'm not going to do the holy shit about find out who this is. I'm like, what they do to the bed? I'm fix the bed up and put things right. I got to put things right.
Mm-hmm.
This is my space. I got to put it right.
Okay. So you're there. You're kind of fixing things up.
They left trash. You got to take the trash out. Raccoons come in, man. So, collecting stuff, making it my home again.
Right. Okay.
And starting to wonder, where are they? And are they coming back as I'm doing my cleaning?
Right.
So I'm becoming a little more alert as I clean. You know how kids slowly come around to things.
Right. So as about the time you put things back together, Sloane shows up, and so he comes in, he walks in.
Jesus,
and
Dani, you almost bit that guy's arm right off. What the fuck, man?
I don't say anything except I say someone's been in my house.
What are you talking about? Someone's been in your house. I'm like looking around,
and you can see that I'm an emotional mess. I've been crying, and I've been all upset, and I just let out that how I found everything, and I've been trying to fix it, and someone's been in my house.
Come here, man, and I'd like, I'm like probably, if you're 9 and I'm 13, probably good half. You probably come up to my chest, right? If that.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I'm a bulky 9, so yeah, that's probably it. I'm a big 9-year-old, and you're an 8th grader. So yeah, you give him that big kid hug.
Yeah, come here, man. Jesus Christ.
They're gonna put me in jail, and then someone's gonna move into my house because someone's been staying in my house.
It wasn't your fault. It's Blaine's fault. He threw you. He's the one that ripped that chunk out of his own arm.
I know. You saw it.
I covered for you.
They never believe me.
No, I covered for you. I think Mr. Sampson's gonna buy it. And
Principal Sam?
Yeah, that's right. He was there. He was there. He saw the whole thing. I showed him what happened to the fence and everything.
Man, I hit it with my head.
And I ruffle your hair like, how is that noggin? Kind of push you away, so a little rough,
Because because we're kids. Yeah,
Right. It's getting a little too emotional, right?
that's right. And we're both emotionally damaged, so they can't have too much of that.
Right.
So I go
So
back. I go back to straightening things and start saying, "Well, who do you think it was?" I don't think it was Marty. He would have said something. He would have said something better. He would have taken a shit on my bed. I think someone's been staying here.
So as you're
I'm looking at what passes for a window in this little shack.
you actually see you hear a very strange noise. It's a noise that you really Dani obviously spends a lot of time in the woods, but even Sloane, you've played in the woods and stuff, so you're familiar with noises in the woods in your area, and you have never heard this noise before, and it's so identify it. It's so out of the ordinary for this kind of location. Dani, what kind of sound is it? What's the best way you can describe it? Hello?
I'm here still.
Okay.
Oh, I was on mute. Sorry. It's almost a sing song, almost like a
Kind of like a whale song almost?
almost, but on land.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but not quite not quite as deep.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you hear the sound out there. What would you like to do?
Look at each other.
Like, what the heck? My eyes go big. Look at Dani, and then I put both my hands on either side of the window, and I'm looking out there, going, "The fuck? The fuck is that, Dani?"
Is it dark out there?
Yeah, this was the carnival was so it's been late enough that it's especially in the pretty dark.
It's dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I have a flashlight.
Right.
I don't know. Should we go out and look, or should we? I don't know. I've never heard that before. Does it sound close, or is it just sort of this general sound out there?
It sounds pretty close. Like, if it was full daylight and it wasn't a forest, or it was full daylight, you feel like it's close enough. You could probably get a glimpse.
I'm getting freaked out. Like I look around for like a rock or like the stick that Dani
nice
keeps by the side of the door or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can find some form of improvised weaponry. So you're both in the hut. You've heard this noise, and and Sloane is arming himself. Dani, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna pick up a stick and turn on my flashlight.
Okay. And are you looking? I'm assuming you're looking at with the flashlight, or just okay?
Yes.
So
I figure there can't be any glass in the window. I mean,
no, certainly not. Let's see here. Dani, make a brains roll, difficulty of 5.
Now you keep using the die on the character sheet. I wonder if that's why I keep failing. Let's try that again. Just miss. I'm going to use an adversity to make that a success.
Okay. So go ahead and mark one of those off. So you catch movement out there, and actually you see like a flash, kind of like a reflection of eye. But it's at a height that you can't really tell if it's a person or an animal, or what it is. So
it could be a shortish person or a tallish animal.
Right.
And I can't tell if it's moving on 2 or 4 legs because of all the underbrush and so on.
Right. Yeah. So,
which of course I am narrating to my companion.
Yes. Right. And as you shine the light out there, and you a little bit of movement, like it startles back. It like goes further back into the forest.
Let's go see what that is.
I don't know, Dani. We should just stay here.
I look at him. I go, guys. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna keep looking out there with the flashlight.
Okay. So you hear the sing-song sound again, but this time it's on the other side of the cabin.
Where there's no window or door.
Yeah, where there's no window this time. And it sounds well. I mean, of course, this is a sound that you've never heard as to what the sound is, but if anything, if you were able to interpret it, it sounds sadder than it did before, than the first time. So you've now heard this somewhat what you might interpret as a sadder version of the sound on the other side of the shack you're in.
So the first time we heard is more of a roo, and now it's more roo.
Yeah.
Wants to trick us to come out there and eat us.
Was I gonna eat you? You said.
You remember level 4 of the Doomtown place? You can't trust those kinds of traps. It's a trap. That's a monster out there. I'm all leaning into my D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm worried.
We got to stay in here where it's safe.
All right. Look, I'm just gonna
with
take a
our
look.
missile weapons. What the fuck?
We don't have missile weapons.
I got a rock. I'm like getting ready, cocking my arm, getting ready to throw it at the door.
I'd rather know what it is, but so it doesn't just surprise us and come running in. It sounds sad. Hello? Are you okay?
There's not any additional sound or response.
See? It'll probably just go away.
Good. It knows I have a rock.
Philippe, you brought your crossbow. Excellent. Shock. Oh, you have your sword. Excellent. You stay here. I'll go back and get help.
So, you're just gonna kind of like wait it out, wait and see what happens
That's what Sloane's doing. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't come out here a lot. I mean, I know where Dani's place is, but
you're an indoor guy.
Yeah, I'm a fucking artist.
That's right. Well, I'm a slightly nutsy kid. I really feel the need to peek my head around the corner and see what's out there.
Well, you've got your flashlight, right?
I do.
Okay.
And I'm like, as you're like going, I'm like, don't go, Dani. God damn it.
But my lower half is in total sight of him. That's my rationale. I'm safe as long as Sloane can see me. I'm safe.
Right.
And I can duck back. I can duck back then.
Right. So you're peeking out the door with your flashlight to see if you can see something. Is that what you're saying? Okay. So you pan the flashlight around, and you do catch sight of the eyes that you saw again, but this time there is another similar noise, but it doesn't duck back into the time. It's the eyes stay there, kind of like watching, from what you can tell, maybe watching you, but not rushing forward, not being aggressive in any way.
Just kind of watch it for a while.
He sees eyes?
Yeah, he sees the reflection of eyes.
Like my light glinting off of a pair of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's watching us.
And then it kind of starts making...
I think it's been staying here.
It's a fucking animal. Why would it want to stay here? I shout.
So it actually starts making that kind of soft, sad sound again.
Are you okay? I don't know what it is. It's not a bear. It's tall. It could be a short person, tall animal. I can't see enough of them.
So
use your light.
I'm trying. All I can see is the reflection of his eyes. He's just far enough back.
you actually see the eyes kind of start like move a little bit closer from like one tree to another tree.
Do they blink?
Yes.
Okay. Keep
And
your
it makes
stick
another.
handy.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm saying, Sloane, keep your stick handy
I got this rock.
and your rock.
So it moves again to another closer tree. It makes another sad sound.
And at this point, I think Sloane like pushes Dani out in the. They're like both standing in the door, just outside the door, and I'm saying like, where is it? Where is it? And I've got my rock hand cocked back.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hurt it yet. Oh, remember level 5 of the Wizard's Tower? Remember that? And the crazy man in the woods? And we thought he was going to attack us, and he had a piece of the treasure map.
I
So
get this quizzical look on my face.
What is it? What details can we see?
I don't know. You tell me. What details can you see? It is now close enough that it's peeking around a tree. You can kind of make out its head. So, is it a person? Is it an animal? Is it something completely strange and wonderful? You tell
What
me.
the fuck is that thing, Dani?
Just ask Sloane what I see. I see a lot of hair on it. Now,
A lot of hair.
ears,
Okay.
those big ears are tufts of hair. I can't tell.
Okay.
79, we would have had Empire Strikes Back, so still no Ewoks, thankfully. See, we don't know what those are.
Yeah, the halcyon days before Ewoks.
Jedi like 84 or something.
I'm not sure.
I think they were 83. I thought they were before I went to college. I don't know.
So, it makes a couple more noises. It kind of leans out a little bit further.
Okay, so in my backpack, I'm going to take out the apple. So I need to erase this, right?
Sure.
Yeah, Jedi's 83. I was pretty close.
And I'm going to toss the apple to where the thing is.
Mm-hmm.
How big is this?
The thing?
Mm-hmm.
So you toss it out, and the thing sees the apple land. It runs forward to grab it and eat it. And you tell me, what is it that this thing is? Is it a feral child? Is it a baby Sasquatch? A gray alien? What is it?
What is it, Aaron?
It's furry.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it was like hairy, right?
Well, I just saw hair all over the head. Was either big tufts of hair or ears. I couldn't tell from the distance and the shine of the eyes.
Yeah,
It's
they're
definitely
big.
humanoid.
They're big, pointy ears, like a wolf or a
Elf?
no, a wolf or a German Shepherd. That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
of. but it's like really shaggy, and it has a short snout, not
Okay.
and like really super big eyes, and it's semi-bipedal.
So kind of like an ape can be both
Right.
Quadruped,
upright and
biped.
Right.
okay. Okay.
And it has a long snaking tail. It's still furry,
Okay.
but it's like more like a long monkey tail.
Right. Right. Okay.
So this
So you see
sounds
this.
lemur-like.
Yeah, almost like getting to almost like a humanoid lemur. You
Yeah,
see
like kind
this
of like what are wolves called?
lupines,
Canids.
canids.
Well, the canids and lupine, they're that's the genus species, right?
Yeah, lupine lemur.
So it jumps out, it grabs the apple and starts eating it. Almost, and you both think, hey, look, that's what
I
Danny looked
go,
like eating those churros.
what the fuck, and drop the rock like thuds to the ground.
And
Thump.
that dropping of the rock startles it, and it kind of like jumps back, looks up at you, and you get at that point you get a full view of what it is.
Tail wrapped
And
around a tree like twice.
right, and that's where we'll end the episode
Oh, perfect.
tonight.
Perfect. I have to pick Emily up from the airport.
No, is she coming back from business?
Yeah, she's up in
Okay.
Washington. She's up in the PNW at Seabright.
Oh yeah, I bet. So thank you very much.
Oh, it was
I think
super fun, Nils. That was great.
I'm glad you liked it. What
Yeah, very
was
much.
I'd like to do the pluses and minuses or boons and banes things if
Okay.
you have a few minutes.
Sure,
Yeah.
I've got time.
What because what I'd like to do is obviously follow what interests you and not do as much of what doesn't interest you. So not only just story elements, but the tone or this pacing or anything that you would suggest. Because this is the first time I've done anything from without having a prepared adventure in front of me. So it was pretty off the cuff as it was. So
Yeah, so that's all play to find out, right? So I mean, I
exactly.
think
That's a great description.
yeah, that's super cool.
So Dani, what was your boons and banes?
Oh well, my bane is that there were not all of us were able to make it, or we weren't able to get more people to make it, which is always fun.
Right.
But my greatest boon was Aaron's role playing with the principal. Oh, that was I just loved listening to that. It was just you were right in character, and yeah,
That was
the
fun.
conversation I had with the kids, that was yeah, it was right out of an '80s movie too. It just yeah.
Very nicely done. Sloane?
I really liked building the town. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Very much.
And then doing the Q&A thing. And I'm just trying to remember. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I really like the Q&A thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
the player asks a question and the other player answers that. I think that was really neat. So I really like those two things. On the Bane side, your microphone, there's something broken with it.
Okay.
You can, I'll upload the recording to my YouTube channel later tonight or even tomorrow. I don't know, sometime soon, and you can check it out. But you were hearing the same thing, weren't you, Peter? Like where Nils would drop, like we might lose a word or half a word or like even a couple of words.
Okay.
So it was very peculiar. I think we muddled through, but
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll see about those repeaters.
Yeah, I don't know.
So my boon or my bane, I would say, would be the moment when we finished the town and the preparation and the pre-generation stuff, and then I realized, oh crap, I have to do something now.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
like
that's GM in the hot seat, baby.
exactly.
You totally rocked it though. It was awesome.
I think so.
Well, luckily, I stole directly from one of the kids on bikes actual plays. The Carnival idea, and then just kind of followed with that.
Perfect. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Exactly. And then my boon is being able to do this. Obviously, I've watching the show, the Kids on Bikes actual plays, and reading it and thinking about it and being able to play with it, of course. But then also, as you know, we had the my Swords and Wizardry, which was very regimented and very kind of like almost railroady. And so it's really kind of stretching me to kind of like you said, in the GM hot seat, not having a script or not having that kind of thing, and picking up different things along the way of different ideas of how I tidbits of GM advice and things like that about how to try to help with this process. So
Yeah, I would really recommend checking out like anything on Powered by the Apocalypse,
okay,
because that's a type of game that is very much play to find out, and
mm-hmm.
there's lots of, I don't know if you want to read about it or watch it played or listen to rules or podcasts or videos about how it's played, but I think that could be really interesting,
Mm-hmm.
about how you GM in this kind of space that's, not
Right.
very, that doesn't have like a module, that doesn't have, a predefined adventure.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some ideas about like the GM, like setting up things that are going on, right? And that whole idea that the world's moving despite the players, right?
Right.
So the players can interface with the world and maybe do something about it, but there are bigger forces at work,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
um, yeah. But
Okay.
I mean, I think Nils, I think you really knocked it out of the park tonight. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate the feedback and the validation.
Yeah.
Because there were a few times where I wasn't sure if I was like, I know that part of the problem is like you try to fill up too much space and don't let the players to have their time to do whatever they want to do. So I was hoping I was getting a good there, and then
Absolutely.
also throwing it to you for ideas enough.
Gorgar, that was my a boon.
Yeah.
Gorgar. Yeah, that was awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very
Fun
much. If you want
times.
to
Yeah.
end the recording,
Let me
and we
kill
will.
let me kill the recording.